Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
97.3 Citi FM. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafe. Tonight I'm here with
Melody Fafa Potufe.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Because at the moment we don't have tomato in any part of the country. So there will be a big shortage, and the price also will go up. Somebody manage and get some into the country.
Ghana Tomato Traders Association seek presidential intervention following a ban on tomato importation in Burkina Faso. Tonight, we assess the impact of the ban. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
The progress of the balance is depending on the impact that we are having from the government. In order not to contaminate.
Railway workers, BC Transport Ministry demanding 40-month salary arrears. Tonight, we speak to the workers and ask why the protest. And later, the Ghana Union of Traders GOTA unhappy about high lending rates despite policy rate cuts. Tonight, we hear from GOTA. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Also coming up in business.
The National Petroleum Authority to name and shame OMC's flouting fuel price rules.
Eyewitness News is live on affiliates across the country. Around the globe, we are on citinewsroom.com and talking about affiliates.
In the Western region, you can tune into Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are Green at 95.9 FM. In Sunyani, in the Ahafo region, you can tune into Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. You can also tune into Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi, in the Ashanti region, and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. Now the Volta region, you can tune into Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. And in the northern region, we are Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, you can listen to us via Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Pupili 92.7 FM in Wa. In the Upper East region, you can tune into Source 100.1 FM in Boku, Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo, Gunzang 90.1 FM in Tongo, and the Northeast region, we are Scarp 101.3 FM in Nakbanduri.
You can also join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. The number to send it to is 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. Let's start with our first story, and it's GOTA, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, and they are unhappy. Fafa.
Well, the GOTA is expressing disappointment over the persistently high lending rate charged by commercial banks despite a decline in the policy rate. GOTA says lending rates hovering between 22 and 24% remain excessive and do not reflect the current policy direction set by the Bank of Ghana. Speaking during an engagement with the Minority Caucus, GOTA President Clement Boateng called on the central bank to take decisive steps to ensure commercial banks lower their lending rates.
And Mr. Clement Boateng joins us on the telephone line to tell us more about their disappointment in this matter. Mr. Boateng, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. If you say you are disappointed, exactly what do you mean?
Yeah, good evening to your cherished listeners, and thank you for having me. Yeah, so we received an invitation from the Minority Caucus in Parliament. They want to have some engagement with us and then listen to some of our challenges regarding our business, and then also listen to us as to how the economy is performing, and then other issues. So as part of my presentation or to them, I made them to understand that we can all attest to the fact that the microeconomic indices are all pointing to the right, direction. And I think it is good for the business community. But one area that we think the central bank, must take its eye to and watch it carefully, how to do with the commercial banks, because irrespective of the fact that policy rate keeps coming down, the commercial banks are not responding to it by way of also reducing their lending rate. As at yesterday, the Monetary Policy Committee reduced further the policy rate to 14%, but the banks are still lending at 22, 23%. The cheapest that you can get is about 20%. And we think it is not good for the business community, because if we want to compare ourselves to some of the countries within the sub-region, which we think Ghana's economy is far, far bigger than those countries are lending on a single digit. A critical example is Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is lending at 6%, and then Senegal is also lending at 8%. Why is it that Ghana's economy, which are far, far bigger than those countries, are lending on a single digit, and we keep on lending on a double digit, irrespective of the marvelous work that the central bank is doing? So we are calling on the central bank as a regulator, to have their eye on the commercial banks and make sure that they reduce their lending rate. So that was the submission I made to the Minority Caucus.
And what was the response from them?
Well, as Minority Caucus in Parliament, they told us that they have listened to us. So they are also going back, to Parliament and work with the majority leadership as well as the central bank to make sure that, something is done out of it, because it is the private sector that is the engine of growth, as we have always been saying. And if the private sector cannot borrow, from the bank as a result of the high lending rate, we cannot expand our businesses in order to be able, to create employment for our teeming youth. So they told us that they are going and they will try as much as possible to do something about it.
Mr. Boateng, have you engaged the Bank of Ghana, which is the mother or the center of all this lending rates and the policy rates and things? Have you made an attempt to engage the Bank of Ghana on these concerns that you are raising with the minority?
We have a very good relationship with the central bank, and I think in their last two monetary policy committee meetings, we were invited as an observer group to enjoy their proceedings. And so anytime that we have opportunity to meet them, we put this on the table, and they keep on assuring us that they will do something about it. So I think we will have to write officially to them and let them know that irrespective of the fact that they are trying as much as to keep policy rate down, the commercial bank is still not responding. So it's about time that we think we have to write officially, to them.
Now, Mr. Boateng, assurances are not, enough to mitigate the plight of GUTA members, as you are lamenting. Apart from writing, what else again do you intend to do? Because if this continues, it's likely it will affect your business. And if it does affect your business, we the consumers at the end of the day will suffer the brunt of it.
Precisely. And that is where we don't want, to go. So we cannot possibly tell the central bank that this is what you have to do. It's a matter of appeal that we have to appeal to them, that they have to be on the neck of the commercial banks and let them know that irrespective of the fact that they keep on reducing policy rate, the commercial banks are not responding to it. So I think what I say we'll write to them is in the right direction, because that is the only way, or that is the only channel that we think we can, adopt, so that they will also listen to our plea and try to do something on it.
Mr. Boateng, away from this policy rate issue, another issue that has come up for conversation is the recent happenings in the Middle East, the U.S., Israel, Iran, confrontation. Its effects here in Ghana. Already we've seen increase in prices at the pump. We spoke to the GPRT who gave us a firm assurance that there's no need or no rush to increase fair prices. But then we know we live in a country where anytime there's an increase at the pump, it translates to both goods and services. As members of GUTA, are you considering also taking the side of GPRTU by not increasing your goods, or you may also want to increase to reflect what is happening at the pump?
I think we GUTA, as a responsible body, had already issued, statements on this Middle East conflict, and in that statement, we said that it is everybody's prayer that this war will come to an end as quickly as possible. Because if it doesn't come to an end and we have a prolonged war, it is going to have a negative impact on businesses because supply chains are going to be disrupted, production are going to be disrupted, and when these things happened, we all know the repercussions as far as businesses are concerned. GPRTU, sound a warning of trying, to increase prices when the second window prices were announced. But after they were announced, they said that no, they are no more going to increase the prices, and that they will have to, wait. I am very sure that in the next pricing window, if prices of fuel is increased again, definitely GPRTU is I wouldn't be surprised if they also increase the cost of transportation. And if the situation continues, as I have said, and we are likely, to face shortages of goods, definitely it will lead to a simple economics of supply and demand. And there, in that regard, the business community will not have any option, but rather resort to maybe adjusting or increase their prices. So I have said that let us pray that this war, will come to an end.
But Mr. Boate, from the look of things and reading from international media, it doesn't look this war will end anytime soon.
If it doesn't look so, then definitely we will get to a point that we wouldn't have any option, but rather resort to increments of prices. Because as I'm talking to you now, sitting as GUTA president, I even have my cargo locked up in Dubai. For over 2 weeks ago, the cargoes are in the ship, and the ship cannot sail as a result of the situation that we are having. And if it goes on, it will definitely going to lead to shortage of goods, and then we will not have any option but rather resort to increments of prices. So let us brace ourselves because once it has even affected the oil, and then we have increments of prices as far as I'm sure it also gets to the area of goods and services. But let's wait and see how things unfold. Then we can be able, to stick out that the situation that we have now, we don't have any option, but rather to increase our prices.
So we should prepare ahead. There's trouble ahead.
Definitely. We have to prepare. We have to prepare ahead.
Mr. Boate, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Clement Boate is the president of the Ghana Union Traders Association of Ghana, speaking to us there. Today they held a meeting with a minority in Ghana's parliament in respect of recent developments within the banking space. They are indeed unhappy about the persistent high lending rates charged by the commercial bank despite the decline in policy rate. GUTA says the lending rate, hovering around 22 to 24%, remains excessive, and they urge the Bank of Ghana to do something about it. After this meeting, the minority leader Alexander Penyumakin also responded and said the minority would take their concerns to the right quarters.
We've been in government before. Governance does not mean you should just obstruct them, but be constructive and engaged and prove to the people that you are on alternative government. You are ready when given the chance to make it better. So it's a reason why on the instructions of our flag bearer, we are here. So don't be worried at all. Of course, we made mistakes, but if you look at even the concerns that were raised by VIP and Mr. President on the assurances by the President that you would be giving some capital support, you realize that it was around that time, 2022, that the financial crisis hit us so bad. And we can bounce back, and we are very optimistic. So it is true that some mistakes in the past, but don't give up hope on us. We will do the do for you. We will not just be talking. And let's continue the engagement, have a framework to be meeting regularly, and test us. I'm sure you will not regret.
The minority leader in Ghana's parliament, Alexander Penyomark, and this is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Looking for engineering excellence you can trust?
Welcome to Left Signature Limited, driving progress through technology and engineering excellence.
From expert electrical engineering, design, installation, power systems, renewable energy, automation and control,
to reliable data center and managed services, power infrastructure, network connectivity, server virtualization, cloud integration and data security,
and cutting-edge software development, custom business applications, web and mobile apps, cloud and DevOps solutions.
Integrity, safety, accountability, teamwork. That's the Left Signature promise.
Ready to power your success?
Choose Left Signature Limited. Visit www.leftsignature.com.
Call +233 256 111 743.
Left Signature Limited. Engineering excellence for a connected future.
Introducing Yomi Pina Colada and Peach, our newest addition to the Yomi family. Life is full of choices, so here are more Yomi flavors to spoil you for choice. Go on, choose great taste, choose nourishment, choose the new Yomi Yogurt Pina Colada and Peach. And always remember that the choices we make today shape our tomorrow. Yomi, a nourishing choice. Yomi Yogurt Pina Colada and Peach. More quality products from Amigo Ghana Limited. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Let's do some more stories, because today railway workers went on a rampage, especially at the Ministry of Transport, demanding payment of their salary arrears. The workers say for the past 13 months, they have not been paid, and they demand answers from the Transport Ministry. Let's go to the phone line and speak to Benjamin Isuman, who is Secretary of the Railway Workers Union of Ghana. Benjamin, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. You said 13 months, you've not been paid?
Yes, my brother. Good evening. And thank you for your support and giving me the audience. Yes, we've not been paid for 13 months. And
what explanation are your bosses giving you?
My brother, as we embark on this picketing, it's supposed to be been done last year, 30th September, when the Labour Commission called on us. But since 30th September, we have not seen any major improvements. We have not seen anything. That's why as at March, early this, we raise this picketing again, because they have to see our presence. They are not giving us anything. All they give is like a political promises, and it doesn't yield anything. And what we are saying is, we are not telling the government, because if these funds are from direct government listener, that's why we will have patience that they are in the process. There's a funds President gave directive to the minister, where they form a committee to sell, because railway is over 100 years, and some of our items was obsolete. We can't use them again. So they auction them as scraps. That was the directive President gave, that after it, they should use it to pay salaries. This exercise was done as at 23rd December, And amount the ministry are telling us is that they've realized 20.6 million Ghana cedi, which can pay 10 months out of our 13-month arrest. So we are asking them, why? Since December and up to now, what is going on? That's why to this morning we started picketing at the Ministry of Transport.
So you believe there are funds available, yet they've not said anything about payments?
They have not said anything. What they are all saying that we should wait, Finance Ministry, they are all putting blame on the Finance Ministry now.
But Mr. Zuma, you know that it's the Finance Ministry that's supposed to do this payments. And so if the officials tell you that it's the Finance Ministry, at least you should find some truth in what they are telling, because it's the Finance Ministry which is, supposed to do the payments.
I met the Finance Minister 2 days ago when Organized Labour met the President at the Flagstaff House. He told me when I had the negotiation, I should go and see the Transport Minister. He is the Sector Minister for Railway. So I should go and see him. So I cannot put more because if the Transport Minister who did the exercise and they put the money wherever they put it, if there's any issues, the Transport should brief us. But one thing is that the minister is not ready to even come up with the leadership of the union. We have done all our best. We will go and sit at the ministry. We will go there all the time. But still, he's ignoring us. We don't know why. So if you want dialogue, that's what we said to His Excellency, the President of the state, even called us to have a dialogue as a organized labor. But I don't know why some of the appointees are ignoring us. We are ready to sit down and have a dialogue and have a solution to this. It's not only the salary is important. We want the sustainability of the railway sector. That will pave way for job security for the Ghanaians workers in railway and still create more employment for the system.
How are you surviving all these while? 13 months without salary. How are you surviving and your members?
My brother, my members, that's what I'm saying. Some will be borrowing from family, but let's ask ourselves. How long can family support their relatives while they also have burdens on them? How long? At times, me being their leader here in Ghana as the General Secretary, they always call me, oh, you should do this, you do that for us. Meanwhile, me to have to go and search and also can help them. But I can't do much. We have 853 workers. I can't always support. And one thing is that you cannot be borrowing because 13 good months, nothing is coming. How can you repay some debts of what you borrow? It's serious. That's what we are talking about. This is not a new fund. The fund is already there. As they have confirmed to us, the exercise came to an end December, and what we are expecting is the money is there. And when it comes to such critical issues, I don't think that's what I'm saying. We believe in the bureaucracy for everyone to be saved, but it has kept long for almost 3 months. What kind of process that will pass through getting to 3 months while the funds are there? Brother.
Mr. So how many are you? I mean the workers, those who've not been paid for 13 months. 853 workers.
Yes, please.
Across the country, or only here in Greater Accra?
Across the country.
So, but then again, Mr. Su, how do you expect the authorities to pay 813 workers when the railway system here in Ghana is not working? Where do you expect them to get the funds from?
My brother, Akapitama is working. And the railway system, we have been talking to them since the previous government. The railway is capital intensive. If government is not good, just bring in investors. We've been hearing some people even making allegations that they will come to the railway sector, they want to invest, the kind of demand they are proposing to them, then they will run away. There have been several investors, several, but we don't know why government or the ministry can't push it. That's the problem. We don't know what goes on there. We need investors. They have to come because the way things are going, other countries did the same. They brought in investors and they sign the contract. Maybe some sign it for 25, some it depends how it will be, whether you the BBT or what. My brother, the railway sector as it now, I don't think government can push in more money than to bring in investors. And it was in the manifesto, first address of the president, that they'll bring in investors. They've met us. They said they'll bring in investors. How wrong? And even there's no clear policy. There's no clear policy for almost 2 years of the minister. There's no clear policy on railway. There's no clear policy. That's why we are worried.
But if you say Accra Tema is working, is that enough to pay the 813 workers?
It's not enough. Even it's a passenger train. You know, my brother, passenger train is like a social intervention. It doesn't bring any profit. We can't charge it like the lorry or GPRT are charging. That one, the fares are being controlled by government. We can't charge above it. We have the authority that control it. So they find a minimum way that to be a social intervention easy for some our brothers and sisters. But that one cannot pay anything. Even the Pakadan line that is running right now does not bring any. It does not break even. The CEO is aware. It doesn't break even. What you have to do is you have to restructure things. Start with the freight. What we want is they should continue. It has left with 13.5 kilometers to Ishita mining, so that we can hold the manganese, and it will bring a lot. We can hold 15,000 per ton in a month, and we can get more, close to $10 million dollars to pay way for the railway sector to improve. Only manganese. Government should help get to manganese mining, the Ishita mining, for us to hold the manganese, and we see what the turnout will be.
But Mr. Suma, if for now is the only one working is Accra Tema, and you say the amount or the money they get in there is woefully inadequate, why then are you putting pressure on government to pay you when the shuttle you expect to make money is not making money to pay workers like your good self?
That's what I'm saying is that what I'm saying right now is if the government is searching for new funds to come and pay us, we don't have problem. But we sat down with the government as at 20th October last year with the president, myself, the president, the minister for transport, the minister for labor, Honorable Rashid Papo, Honorable Joyce Bawa, and the two bosses of TUC, Trade Union Congress. And they've sold the items. What we are saying that the items have been sold, have been auctioned. And now they've realized 20.6 million Ghana cedi. That can pay this money. That's what we are asking. It says you think the rail line are sorting and we are not operating effectively, then pay workers off. Let workers, because we cannot be there. Some of them, Accra is running, Tamachumpakadan 2 is running, Accra to Atama is running, but this passenger train, it can't pay workers' salary. So there are some people, if you sit down and there's a policy that can pay some people off, bring investors to take over, pay some people off, then we recapitalize railway system, whereby there will be a new construction. Then we deal with the freight. Then we do more employment.
Okay, Mr. Zuma, let's talk about solution. Now, the number one solution you've given us so far is investment. Give me the second solution we can all help address this situation.
The only solution will be the investment.
That's the only solution.
Yes, because I don't think now that government have money to invest into the railway sector. I don't know, but railway is not like construction of road. It's highly capital intensive. Because for good 60 years of our true political government or our government, none of them have even reached into mining. For us to all manganese, that can pay additional, even if they give it to investors and they pay dividend to government, it is far better for government to get back what has been spent and still make some employment. And it will help. What we are telling government that it should get investors, we get to Citi mining, the problem will be solved.
Okay. Mr. Son, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Benjamin Esuman is the Secretary of the Railway Workers Union of Ghana. Let's go to the line and speak to the Transport Minister, Joseph Nikpe Bukari, who's joined us also to speak to us on this matter. Honorable Minister, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Your workers at Railway say for the past 13 months, they've not received their salary. And as a mother ministry, what are you doing about this situation, sir?
Good evening, Mr. Wiyashi, for having me, and let me extend my regards to my railway workers and the secretary who you just spoke to. Actually, issues of railway is one that is bothering government, and for that matter, the Ministry of Transport. We inherited a railway that was not functioning. Even salaries were in arrears. Contractors had abandoned site and things were not working. We, through negotiation talks with some of the contractors like Amandi, the Western Line to Insuta, the contractors have returned to site, and currently they are doing some work on the rail line within the Western Corridor. Again, when we came, the Pakadam wasn't functioning. We had to work to finish it up and to operationalize it. Currently, it is working. We have some issues on the Accra-Tema rail lines that we have fixed, and currently it is also working. But the larger portion of the rail within the Western Central and the other areas from Accra to Nsawon, all are not working. And because of that, when we came in, there were salary arrears of workers, which has been a worry for me as the minister and the ministry. And so what did we do? In December, I had to work tirelessly with the Minister for Finance. And the Minister for Finance removed money, almost 10 million cedi, to pay about 4 months' salaries to them in December. Now, we set up a task force to auction out or to remove some obsolete rail lines and then auction them so that whatever proceeds we will realize, we will use that to pay the rest of the salaries of the workers. Now, after the task force, hello?
Honorable Minister, I'm here.
Yes. After the task force had gone to Western region, they didn't find it easy with some of the people, a lot of quarrels, a lot of wounds and other things. However, some monies were realized. And you know, when government sales are made, the monies are paid to the Ministry of Finance directly. And they will have to do audit to understand actually what they have realized, because different checks came in from different areas. Some of them, they have to see how they are cleared and with some other issues associated with the auction. And I can tell you that last Monday, myself and the finance minister, we had several discussions in his office, and they were promising me that by close of this week, they would have finished with audit and they will be able to now tell exactly how much money has been realized and what they can transfer to the Ministry of Transport so that we can also pay the salary arrears of our rail workers. So I must say that we are very worried as a ministry that our workers are owed, or we owe workers in salary arrears. But as to saying that we are not doing anything about it, we have done a lot to ensure that we get salaries to pay. That is why we're able to get 4 months for each of the workers in December before Christmas. And again, we are working with the ministry. You know, you can't just sell or auction government obsolete things or do auctions and the money goes straight to do payments. That should be audit and reconciliation by the Ministry of Finance. And like last Monday, I said in the minister's office, he had promised me that this week everything will be done so that we can go ahead to do payments. So I want to appeal. Just to end up, I want to appeal to them that they should be calm. That the Minister for Finance is winding up to see how he can release the money to the Ministry of Transport to be able to do the payments.
Okay. On the same subject matter, when I spoke to the secretary, he said that this auction was done and they realized over 20 million cedis, and he believes that this amount of money is enough to pay all the arrears, you know, on the workers. And so they don't know why since December still they've not heard anything from the Finance Ministry of Government in respect of this matter. The auction has been done, 20 million cedis according to him has been realized, and so they don't know why there's still a delay when there's money to be paid.
My brother, when auctions are made, they go straight to the consolidated fund managed by the Ministry of Finance, and they have to do reconciliation and tell us how much they have realized, because it has to do with people paying with checks, and some of the checks might have problems. So the Ministry of Finance is able to tell us that we are finished with our audit, and this is what has been realized. We cannot rely on the 20 million that is being speculated by the union. All that I can tell them is that they should be patient. Whatever reconciliation that will be done, whatever money that is realized, the Ministry of Finance will transfer it. As I'm talking to you, I can see a call coming from the Deputy Minister of Finance. I believe he wants to give me some information because we've been engaging. But I am saying that when this reconciliation is done, even if it is done today, it is finished today, tomorrow we will process the money and pay them.
But Honorable Minister, it will take 3 months to do an audit.
It's not when you say that auctions were finished in 3 months, that cannot be true.
I'm saying this based on the information provided by the General Secretary of the Union. Sir.
That is, I wouldn't want to engage my General Secretary of the Union on whether that is true or that is not true. The audit reports, the final report got to me 4 weeks ago about that removal of obsolete equipment and the auctioning. It was an ongoing process. And I had to send the CEO to go towards Kumasi to look at some of the pending issues. That is not even done as we are standing. Some people will go to the site and tell you that these portions were allocated to them, but they went and didn't get the material, so they have to take them to another site. So it has been ongoing within that process they are talking of, not finished. I received the report not 3 months ago. I received the report just last month, and the reconciliation is going on.
Honorable Minister, let's talk about solutions. When I spoke to the General Secretary, one solution that he offered is investments, private sector investment, because he believes that the government does not have the wherewithal to invest in the sector, and so a private investor or a private investment is the way to go. From where you sit, is there a way to get investors into the sector so we can address all these challenges, including salary arrears?
Yes, definitely. Before you can have the private sector investing in anything, they have to look at your books first. That is why we are working as government to ensure that we pay them off and then be able to now make profit and let any private investor understand that we have a viable project that should we engage the investors, they will be able to make a turn, or they can make fortunes out of their business or their investment. Now, I told you that the Western Line, that a lot of the contractors had abandoned site. We have worked with them, they have agreed, they have returned to site, they are working. It has to do with how we will position Ghana Railway Development Authority, that authority will have a very good balance sheet, so that any investor or any private sector that is coming to do investment with you, they will look at your books and be able to say that, no, I can work with these people and then be able to make a good investment with them. So we are almost at the tail end of functioning out these things. That is why government on its own released about 10 million in December to be able to pay their salaries for 4 months each. I listened to you, and the General Secretary never mentioned that through government efforts, 4 months of the arrears we inherited were paid. We are telling them that they should be patient. No matter what, within these days, the audit would have been finished, and then the salaries paid to them, so that we can now look at how to restructure the Railway Development Authority.
Honorable Minister, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and once again to appeal to my workers that they should become, their money should be ready and paid to them when the Ministry of Finance finally gives the transfer orders to the Ministry of Transport. We will definitely pay them. In December, they didn't have trust that we're going to pay them 4 months. We worked when the Finance Ministry released the money to us. We paid them. In the same way, we are going to do the same and pay them.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Joseph Nikpe Bukari is the Minister for Transport and the Member of Parliament for the Saboba constituency. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, tomato traders seek presidential intervention following a ban on tomato importation in Burkina Faso.
because at the moment we don't have tomato in any part of the country. So there will be a big shortage, and the price also will go up. Somebody manage and get some into the country.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ah, Google me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind says be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Kuma has always dreamt of commanding his own military forces.
Attention! Eyes right, stand at ease.
Because that dream is still a vision in progress, he spends his time commanding his money with the EcoBank mobile app.
Operation Supplier Payment. Dispatch 1,000 units of currency from Accra to Benin. Move!
Sometimes he wants a little extra control so that he can buy only what he needs.
Command Center mobile app. Activate virtual card protocol and initiate payments for sneakers and t-shirts. Abort mission for leather coat payment.
Even when the general is fast asleep, his standing order marches out to sort his bills. With the EcoBank mobile app, you can command your money to make safe transactions in Ghana and across 33 African countries. Download the EcoBank mobile app on the Play or App Store today.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. A few of your WhatsApp messages. Malik in our Northeast region says, the government of Ghana should focus on building more dams in the northern sector so that the hard-working farmers can also produce more tomatoes for our own consumption. There is no need for Ghana to be depending on Burkina Faso for agricultural products. And talking about that matter, let's go onto the phone line now and speak to Mr. Eric Osei Tutu. He's the chairman of the Ghana National Tomato Traders Association of Ghana. They are warning of a possible shortage of the product following a ban in the export of tomato in Burkina Faso. Mr. Tufo, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you've heard about this news. What does the union or the association make of this ban importation?
Yeah, good evening. First of all, let me greet your listeners. Yeah, we had this ban on Monday, this very Monday, the past Monday. I had a communique from the government of Burkina Faso banning exportation of tomato into various countries, especially Ghana. So I quickly called Ghana Mission to ask them about the communique. And they respond that they've not heard of any communique. So they rather instructed me to send the communique to their outfit. And I did it. So they said they will engage the Burkina government to know the truth about the communique. So they called me yesterday that it was true. The communique come from the government and they've sent it to our government in Ghana. So they are now discussing about it. So whatever will transpire about their discussion, they will let me know. So early yesterday too, National Security called me and they asked me to attend meeting with them around 12 o'clock. I am in Kumasi, so I couldn't attend that meeting. I asked my General Secretary to attend the meeting, so he did it. And the same thing, it was about the ban of tomato from Burkina Faso. So they had a series of discussions with them, and they said they will engage the Burkina counterparts. So whatever will transpire, they will let us know. So we are waiting for the government of Ghana. But still the ban is there. They said just for 2 weeks, we shouldn't enter into Burkina territory again for any tomato produce.
So for the next 2 weeks, the traders, which is your association, can't go to Burkina Faso to bring tomato to Ghana to come and sell?
At all. Even Ghana Embassy, they've given us warning that we should abide by the rules and regulations of Burkina Faso, that we shouldn't enter, because if we come to them, and what was written in the communique, they said they will seize the car, send the tomato to their factory for processing. So why are you still trying to go there? Now tomato the price is very high. You can spend about 250,000 Ghana cedis to buy one truck of tomato. So how can you go and waste 250,000, 300,000 cedis there for nothing? So if nothing good comes from the government, what we can do is to stop going.
And when you stop going, it means we are going to record shortage in the country.
And that one, there will be a shortage, huge one. Because as I'm speaking, tomato is nowhere in our farms in Ghana. April 2, there will be nowhere. Unless May, probably middle of May to ending of May, that we will get tomato from some part of Eastern region, Ashanti region, and then Bono region.
But what's the general average? Let's do some mathematics here. The number of boxes you import from Burkina Faso and the one we produce here, if we do the comparison, are the ones we produce here more than what you bring from Burkina Faso?
The importation normally starts from December to May. From December to May, the tomato that you find in our local market or our market centers are imported from Burkina Faso. So you just calculate it. December to May, I think it's 6 months. So for 6 good months, we normally import from our nearby country, Burkina Faso.
So let's say half of the year, the tomato we take here in Ghana is imported.
Exactly. And
is there a way we can rectify it here locally so we don't depend so much on Burkina Faso? Because looking at the picture that you are painting, then it looks as if, that we are in for the long haul.
We can do it, provided we can find ways and means to do irrigation for our local farmers, especially when you go to Bono region. Pretenta, Jene, Doma, Himpro, and then surrounding villages, they are capable of farming tomato. But when you ask them that why can't you grow tomato during the lean season, what answer they will give you that we don't have water. We don't have water. They normally depend on natural rainfall. This year we are lucky the rain started quickly. So, probably May, you have to get tomato from that area, and then Begro too, and then even Asante region. But when it doesn't rain like previous years, before tomato, Ghana tomato will start. It starts from June, July, August going. So the government must now, or Agric Ministry, must now think of how they can let farmers get irrigation for farming tomato in their areas. Bono East, Ashanti region, Bono region, and so on. This is what the government must quickly think about it. The previous government, we advised them that instead of constructing dams, I think you need a huge sum of money to do that project. I went to Benin some years ago. When I got there, I saw some irrigation over there. What kind of irrigation that I saw it? They normally use pumping machine. That is what they use for their irrigation to farm tomato. And the tomato were doing well. It was good. I transported about 4 trucks to Ghanaian market. So immediately I left there. I went to Agric Ministry and spoke about it with them. They accepted it. They said they will think about it. They will, I think they said they have put it into diverse picture. But we didn't hear of it. They were doing well with Palugu tomato farmers. We had a series of meetings with them. But this year, I don't know what happens. They even couldn't get us a truck of tomato. But last year, December, we had 2, 3, 4 from them. So the government must seriously engage all in the tomato chain. The aspects involved. Engage seriously. They must take tomato production as a serious production for the country. Then they put some measures into it, and then also put some money into that industry so that they can revive the tomato farming industry in Ghana.
Mr. Osetufor, thank you very much for your time. Eric Osetufor is chairman of the Ghana National Tomato Traders Association. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Up next is Citi Business News. And remember, Citi Business News is brought to you by the Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up.
Be there as it happens.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house,
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up. Join the Republic Verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
It's the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. But let's settle for the details now. Some oil marketing companies, OMCs, have been sanctioned for breaching the prescribed fuel price floor. The National Petroleum Authority took the decision to step up enforcement within the downstream petroleum sector. The authority says it will also intensify compliance measures, including publicly naming OMCs that fail to adhere to the pricing directive to ensure fair competition and protect consumers from market distortions. Godwin Edojitamaklo is CEO of the MPA.
So we have a very strong unit, the Intelligence Security Unit, the SNI. What we also do have is a team that does periodic monitoring. And as I speak to you, a lot of the OMCs that have been found to have engaged in said practices have been fined, ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 and above. You know, usually when somebody is being is paying for their crime, quote unquote, they don't want people to know. But the next stage is that we'll be publishing them in the papers, so people will know the recalcitrant OMCs. So that is being done.
He added that the authority is also engaging industry stakeholders to address concerns surrounding the implementation of the price floor policy.
A review conversation means that as an institution, you do not want to shut critical voices. You want to listen to people. In the MPA, we will not behave like Kwekwa Nancy to have all knowledge. Knowledge is vast, and so we would always rely on feedback from people. Remember that the industry has evolved. There used not to be anything called floor price. It is something that brought it about. It was a mischief that the floor price was curing. The question is, if tomorrow that mischief, there is a firm understanding that ABC, who knows, anything can happen. We live in a very dynamic society.
Godwin Eduji Tamaklo is CEO of the MPA, speaking on the sidelines of the World Consumer Rights Day. Now, the Society of Women in Taxation is urging workers in Ghana's informal sector to honor their tax obligations, describing compliance as critical to strengthening domestic revenue mobilization and reducing reliance on external borrowing. Speaking at an International Women's Day workshop focused on tax education for informal sector workers, the chairperson of the society, AC Sam, stressed the need to broaden the tax base to support national development.
No matter the kind of business we are doing, after giving them this training and you understand, you should voluntarily go and pay your taxes. And you know, GRA has, the lady was showing us a Momo thing you can do. So you can stay in your office and pay. And so I believe all of us must put our hands on real, because the nation needs a lot of money. And I think if you are able to pay, if majority of the informal sector are able to pay their taxes, it will help the nation. And it will also help the government from external borrowing, because we need, our people need to pay taxes.
AC Sam is the chairperson for the Society of Women in Taxation. Now, Stanbic Bank Ghana has officially launched its Women's Banking Initiative, Obasima, aimed at empowering Ghanaian women through improved access to finance, tailored business support, and lifestyle solutions. Speaking at the launch, the Chief Executive Officer of Stanbic Bank Ghana, Kwamina Asumeni, noted that the initiative aligns with the bank's broader mission to drive national development through innovative and inclusive financial services.
First and foremost, it is in furtherance of our purpose as a bank. At Stanbic Bank Ghana, our purpose is that Ghana is our home, and we're driving her growth with innovative and best-in-class solutions. Women have been identified as representing a big proportion of our population, 50%, and at least a third of all businesses are women-owned or women-led. In order to drive Ghana's growth, you would have to drive these women these women as individuals and women as owners and leaders of businesses. And so we see this as meeting a need that hasn't been addressed, a potential that hasn't been fulfilled. And through that, we hope to unlock greater value in this country, Ghana, that we call our home.
Kwame Asumenin is Chief Executive Officer of Stanbic Bank Ghana. Now, growing fiscal burden posed by underperforming state-owned enterprises and their persistent inefficiencies continue to threaten Ghana's economic stability. Operational challenges in key sectors, particularly energy, are placing significant pressure on public finances and undermining broader fiscal consolidation efforts. Government has so far spent over $1.4 billion to address financial shortfalls in the energy sector alone amid ongoing technical and commercial losses. Speaking at the 2026 State Interest and Governance Authority Stakeholders Conference in Accra, Deputy Minister for Finance Thomas Nyako Ampim stressed that the current situation is unsustainable and requires urgent corrective action.
SOEs are now running out of excuses for non-performance. The theme of this conference is therefore both timely and strategic. The state is not just a regulator. In fact, the state is also not just a shareholder. The state must be an active partner in progress. In practice, this means three things. First, performance. Every SOE must operate with commercial discipline, efficiency, and accountability. We all saw how institutions that have private involvement are doing far better than institutions that are wholly controlled by the state. It shows clearly that inefficiency is very, very high when it comes to wholly state-controlled institutions, and that is not a good news for us. Two, value creation. Public assets must generate measurable returns. That is financial, economic, and social. And third, strategic alignment. SOEs must realign with national priorities, particularly energy security, industrialization, infrastructure, and job creation.
Thomas Nyako Ampim is Deputy Minister for Finance. Now, cost conditions for manufacturers and producers are improving and could eventually translate into lower consumer prices if the trend is sustained. It follows the reduction in producer price inflation from 1.6% to 1.4% in February. This disinflation trend at the factory gate level, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, is also a sharp year-on-year decline of 26.2 percentage points. There's more in the following report.
The data points to a build-up of short-term pressures, with producer prices rising by 1.3% month-on-month in February, suggesting that firms may begin to face renewed cost increases despite the broader disinflation trend. Sectorial data show that mining and quarrying, which carries the largest weight of 43.7%, recorded an increase in inflation to 4.1%, up from 3.7% in January. In contrast, the manufacturing sector, accounting for 35% of the index, remained in deflation, with inflation declining further to negative 2.9%. Utility-driven pressures remain elevated, with electricity and gas inflation at 14.3%, while water supply and waste management recorded 9.9%, pointing to persistent cost pressures in regulated services.
Emmanuel Opon with that business desk report. Now, MTN Ghana has partnered with Infinix Mobile to launch a range of new mobile phones aimed at making smartphones more affordable for Ghanaians. This collaboration, according to MTN, stresses its commitment to narrowing the digital divide and empowering citizens through accessible technology. Speaking at the event in Accra, devices manager at MTN Ghana, Abba Piama Caesar, said the partnership is intended to place affordable smartphones in the hands of more Ghanaians and enable them connect to the internet.
The partnership between us and Infinix is not just selling devices. What we are doing is to be able to land affordable smartphones in the hands of more Ghanaians so that they'll be able to connect to the internet to transact their daily life, whether business, whether schooling, whether any content provision online. We're able to help them, include them in the digital agenda of Ghana. If you buy the Infinix 60 series, what we are giving is to give you 2 GB of data every month for 6 months. So the activation is very, very seamless, irrespective of where you buy your device, whether from MTN Service Center, whether from Infinix Partner Shop, whether from the open market. As soon as you insert your SIM card and your SIM card is noticed on the network, we push your offer to you. And this is repeated every month for a good 6 months.
Abapiama Caesar is Devices Manager at MTN Ghana. Well, that's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafa. But to fair up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind said be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Ramadan Kareem, a season of peace, blessings, and giving. Electroland Ghana Limited is bringing blessings into your home with special value deals on Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO. NASCO TVs from just $699, bottom fridge freezer from $1999, chest freezer from $1999, Samsung 6kg twin tab washing machine for 2,999 Ghana cedis, Samsung microwaves from 1,799 Ghana cedis, TCL 43 inches for 2,999 Ghana cedis, TCL water dispenser for 1,599 Ghana cedis, TCL front load inverter for 5,999 Ghana cedis, Media air cooler for 1,499 Ghana cedis, air fryer, juicer, stand mixer, and blender at all special Ramadan prices. Visit EGL showrooms and authorized dealers nationwide. Call us on 0503-159739 and on our website at www.electrolandgh.com. Electroland Ghana, bringing Ramadan value home.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, and this is Point Blank. Tonight on Point Blank, we go to Parliament because the House has approved the lithium mining agreement between the government of Ghana and the Boral DV Limited, clearing the way for the large-scale commercial extraction of the strategic mineral despite stiff opposition from the minority in the House. We go to the House to hear excerpts of the debate.
I present your committee's report and I crave your indulgence to read some parts of the observations and ask that the Hansa Department captures as having been fully read. Mr. Speaker, I want to read paragraph 7.7 of the report. Clause 3 of subsection 2 to the mining lease agreement provides that a company shall set aside 1% of annual revenue for community development fund pursuant to a community development agreement that shall be signed with the communities impacted by its operations. The committee thus noted that the establishment of the CDF upon ratification of the agreement and the subsequent operationalization of the mining project will bring significant socio-economic benefits to the people of the mining area through investments and infrastructure projects by the fund. Preparatory discussions on the Community Development Fund have already taken place between the communities and the company. A memorandum received from the paramount chiefs of Nkusukum, Mankesim, and Abra traditional areas states the following regarding the Community Development Fund contemplated under the agreement. Our engagements with the community, quote, our engagements with the community have commenced towards this fund, and a framework is in draft. This fund, projected to exceed $6.0 million annually, will bring significant development to the catchment area and the central region. We, Nananum, and community leaders at the community consultative committee meeting have proposed using a substantial portion of this fund to stimulate other industries in the catchment area. The fund will also support scholarships for disadvantaged students and the development of health and educational facilities. The memorandum from the paramount chiefs further indicates the following regarding infrastructure development. Though not having started operations, the company has undertaken some local procurement and infrastructure development in our communities, showing its commitment to community development. We are informed that the project will utilize locally made goods and services during construction and production to promote the local economy and build capacity. Thus, Nananum are firmly behind the project due to the potential benefits of the project in terms of infrastructure development, local capacity building, and technology transfer, and generally boosting the local economy of the catchment area. Mr. Speaker, as to what was being done with regards to land access and compensation to project affected persons, the committee was informed that the company and the communities have established a compensation negotiation committee for crop and land and a resettlement negotiation committee for persons due for resettlement as prescribed by the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the Minerals and Mining Compensation and Resettlement Regulation 2012 LI 2175. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee has critically examined the agreement within the context of the relevant laws on the subject and finds that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has complied with the legal requirements necessary for granting mining leases. The committee also finds the mining project to hold a huge potential to bring tremendous benefits to the country and contribute to the socio-economic development of communities in the area. The committee respectfully recommends to the House to adopt this report and ratify by resolution the mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and Balari DV Ghana Limited, for the mining of lithium and other minerals at Mankesim in the Mfantiman municipality in the Central Region, in accordance with Article 2681 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
For environmental issues in the contract area. And indeed stated that the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, will be required to issue an environmental permit before any operations can take place. But Mr. Speaker, in my view, the environmental provisions in the agreement are not adequate. Lithium production has significant negative footprint. The key environmental issues relate to water contamination, soil degradation and pollution, waste generation, even e-waste. The footprint is quite colossal wherever lithium is being produced. But environmental permit really, Mr. Speaker, does not address environmental mitigation, because the permit is issued before the operation starts. But during operations, when you have environmental disaster, how do you mitigate that? The agreement has to provide for it. In most jurisdictions, the polluter pay principle applies. But even with the polluter pay principle, it is important that financial guarantees are provided so that when there's an environmental disaster, the company does not give an excuse that they don't have sufficient resources to mitigate. And this is why, in addition to the polluter principle, financial guarantees have to be provided. Mr. Speaker, two ways of addressing this is to request the company to post an environmental bond so that in the event of such a disaster, the bond is liquidated to mitigate the effect of the disaster. The other way to do this is to set up an environmental mitigation fund so that a certain percentage of the revenue from the sale of the products will be put into the fund to be used to mitigate against any disaster when it occurs. Mr. Speaker, these are all absent in the agreement. And therefore, I side with my colleague that this report be withdrawn and these major environmental mitigation issues are addressed, because that is very key, Mr. Speaker. If they are not addressed, then I will have a difficulty voting for this report. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, because of the environmental concerns, communities that will be affected are too exposed. But I see only 1% of annual revenue required to be put in a community development fund. 1% of annual revenues. This may not be enough if you match it against the enormous negative footprint lithium production could bring to our communities. And so I propose that we should increase it to 2%, if not even 3%, so that communities are properly compensated because of the effects they will have to contend with, because of the risk associated with lithium production. Mr. Speaker, if we cannot do this, we will be exposing the communities too much without preparing to provide the amenities that could help them cope with the footprint lithium production will bring on them. And so these two issues, Mr. Speaker, I think need to be looked at seriously. And therefore, if our friends on the other side will agree to take this report out, withdraw this report and address these issues and bring it, we will all be happy when they bring the report back with these modifications. We will all be happy to support this, and I believe Ghanaians will support it fully. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Speaker, I rise to sum up the views of this side of the House, the minority Caucus. Speaker, the report before us is in respect of the revised mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Barari DV Ghana Limited, a subsidiary of Atlantic Lithium Limited, granting rights for the mining of lithium and other associated minerals at Ewoya in the Mfanteman Municipality, Central Region, a region where I come from. The agreement is presented for ratification pursuant to Article 2681 of the 1992 Constitution. Speaker, let me state for the records that this side of the House, the minority, is ever ready at all times to support development of Ghana's lithium resources, since the development of these resources would amount to job creation, increased opportunities, and creates an economic hub in the central region, which reports has it that central region has a high level of poverty because of lack of jobs. Mr. Speaker, the project at Ewoya represents a historic opportunity for Ghana to participate in global green energy transition. But our concerns are the terms on which the government proposes to cede these rights over Ghana's mineral endowment. The regulatory architecture that now frames those terms and the pace at which Parliament is being asked to act. It is upon these that the minority oppose this agreement in its present form and shape. And earlier, my respected colleague Abu Jinapo and my own senior Dr. Mohammed Adam had cause to reiterate the views of our caucus. Mr. Speaker, my duty is to provide a summation of all related issues underlining our reason for rejecting this report. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that in October 2023, the Nana Akufo-Addo administration negotiated and signed a mining lease with Barari DV Ghana Limited, securing 1. A royalty rate of 10%, elevated from the statutory floor of 5%, a free carried interest of 13% for the state, an additional 6% equity stake through the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, bringing total participation to a reported 19%, and a requirement for local stock exchange listing. Our friends, then in opposition, vehemently rejected and blocked the ratification. They argued that the terms were insufficient, that agreement lapsed unratified at the dissolution of the 8th Parliament as a result. Upon assuming office in January 2025, Mr. Speaker, the NDC administration renegotiated this agreement. The product of that renegotiation is an agreement that at current market price yields a royalty of 5%, the same statutory floor that prevailed before MPP's negotiation, and at price of $2,250 per ton that prevailed when the original 10% was negotiated in 2023, will yield only 7% under the new sliding scale. Mr. Speaker, it is further on record that Barari DV Ghana Limited was prepared to proceed with the project under the original 10% fixed royalty. The minority invite this House to place that fact alongside the government's decision to grant concessions and to demand a full and frank explanation for that reversal. Mr. Speaker, first, we want to invite this House to look at the regulatory context. In this sense, we proceed to submit that the LI and the GSL amendment ought to be critically looked at. Mr. Speaker, in drawing the attention of the House to the regulatory sequence that immediately preceded this debate, as it is directly material to any vote on these mining leaves. Mr. Speaker, the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulation 2025, our colleague, the chair of subsidiary legislation, sounded the alarm bell, but our friends will not listen. On December 19, 2025, our respected colleague, a former deputy minority leader and now a minister of state responsible for this sector, laid the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulation 2025 before Parliament, introducing a sliding scale royalty regime for gold, lithium, and other minerals. Mr. Speaker, for lithium and spodumene, the price band are 5%, that is up to 1,500 USD per ton. 7%, that is 1,501 to 2,500 per ton. And 10%, which is $2,501 to $3,000 per ton. And 12%, which is above 3,000 tons. Mr. Speaker, the legislative instrument matured into law on March 9, 2026, having completed the constitutional required 21 sitting days without amendment. Our caucus, the minority, notes that at the time of the original MPP negotiation in 2023, the spodumene prices stood at approximately 2,250 per ton, yielding a 10% fixed royalty. Under the government's own new framework, the same price of 2,250 falls in the 7% band. In other words, the sliding scale delivers a lower royalty than the fixed rate that existed when the deal was first made, at precisely the price level used as a reference point for that deal. Mr. Speaker, this is not an improvement on an MPP steps. At any price below 2,500 per ton, it is a regression, and we beg to submit. Mr. Speaker, our colleague, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, warned publicly on 10th March 2026 that the royalty regulation could cost Ghana close to 1 million jobs by deterring mining investment. Those concerns were not resolved before the LI matured. Parliament now faces a request to ratify a mining lease governed by a regulatory instrument about which the minority's most fundamental concerns remain outstanding. Mr. Speaker, let me delve into the Growth and Sustainability Levy, the GSL Act 2026, as amended. Speaker, Parliament has passed the Growth and Sustainability Levy Amendment Act 2026, reducing the levy on mining companies from 3% to 1% of gross production. The government stated that the rationale was that GSL increase from 1 to 3% was originally introduced to compensate for the absence of the windfall tax mechanism, and that the new sliding scale royalty regime now performs that function. Mr. Speaker, we disagree. We urge this House to delay the third reading of that bill for further scrutiny, because stakeholders were expressing concerns, especially our bilateral partners. However, this House proceeded over that objection. We, however, draw Parliament's attention to the net effect. Whatever additional royalty revenue the sliding scale regime is projected to generate must be assessed against the revenue forgone through the GSL reduction. The government has not presented Parliament with a consolidated net revenue analysis, and Parliament cannot responsibly ratify this lease without understanding what Ghana is, on the balance, actually gaining. I repeat, we do not know what we are actually gaining, and we are being asked to ratify this. Mr. Speaker, we want to now turn to our concerns as a caucus regarding the revised terms. 1. The royalty structure and unverified financial assumptions. Mr. Speaker, it is our contention that government has accepted the Atlantic Lithium's claim that a sharp decline in global lithium prices of approximately 80% from 2022 to 2022-2023 peak renders the project unviable under a 10% fixed royalty.
Minority Leader in Ghana's Parliament expressing the minority's view on the passage of the lithium agreement. That was done in the House today. And that's how we draw the curtains down on today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafe. Earlier you heard Fafa Melody. The show produced by Kwabena Wilson, Beverly London, and Fred Tete Jabono, as well as Juliana Odami, with technical assistance from Emmanuel Latte. So we'll come your way again. May the good Lord be with us all.